Reacting to some videos. Will the Dolphins win the AFC East? It's going to be interesting. What is up, Fin fans? CBS Sports came out with a video saying, will the Dolphins win the AFC East? I have not seen this video yet, so we are going to react to it. It's about a 9-minute video. I'll link it below. We'll see what they have to say, if some of it makes sense, if some of it doesn't. We know what they're going to say. If Tua stays healthy, yada, yada, bing, bang, bing. It is what it is. That is true. If Tua stays healthy, this team is dangerous. So, but real quick, before we jump into it, I have to thank today's sponsor, and that is Clean the World. This organization run by Sean Sipler is amazing, right? They go around and they give resources, whether it's soap, toothbrushes, fresh water, all this stuff, socks, to people of need in third world countries, in relief, natural disaster relief, people that need it, that income based, they help them out. So a big shout out to Clean the World, and thank you for sponsoring this video. Also, real quick, to the members and the Patreons, I made a video for you guys late last night. I was just early this morning or late last night. Late last night. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday-ish, right? It was Saturday. I was up. I made you guys a video. So if you're a member of Patreon, go check that video out. And if you're a member, check out the community tab, because I asked you guys a question and you guys can get a special video off of that question. And if you're like, what is this stuff? If you'd like to become a member, hit the join button next to the subscribe button and you'll see the stuff I'm talking about. Or if you want to become a patron, the link is in the description. Now, without further ado, let's pop this video up. Let's see if these people are talking nonsense or not.
And it's good to see Pete Prisco and Rick Spielman, I think. Fingers crossed. There they are.
There you go.
Oh, they got
bright
the shorts.
colors.
It is summer in South Florida.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Rick Spielman used to be the Dolphins GM back in the day? I think with Dave Wanstead, right? Let me know in the comment section if I'm right or not.
Rick and Pete joining us here. And guys, we were talking with Bryant McFadden, our two-time Super Bowl champion yesterday. I don't know if you heard him on HQ say that he believes the Dolphins are a championship contending team this season if Tua is healthy. How big of an if is that, Pete?
There it is.
Well, it's an enormous if. I mean, this is an entirely different team if he's not on the field. If you're playing with Mike White, you got problems. I mean, he's a backup quarterback in this league. And so I think when you look at it from that standpoint, they have to keep him healthy. And we saw him today, and we were talking. He is much bigger. He's thicker. He looks like he's taking care of his body. He's trying to get stronger. He's doing a lot of, martial arts stuff to try and get himself prepared on how he falls. I think this is a big year for him if he stays on the field. I'm still not convinced he's one of the top, 7, 8 quarterbacks in the league, but he showed last year that he's capable of being in that 10, 11, and 12 range, Rick.
Yeah, no, I think he is one of the top 7 or 8 quarterbacks in this league. And the way he was playing last year, with the numbers he was putting up, the accuracy down the field, made a lot of big plays. Now he has a lot of help around him. The biggest question will be, can that offensive line protect him so he can have the same production he had early last year?
So a year removed from Kirk Cousins, you've already moved him ahead of Kirk Cousins. Okay, I see how that works.
Guys, that offense is not really a concern if they have a healthy Tua. Mike McDaniel, great offenses in San Francisco. First year, it just kind of seemed like he was trying to feel his way around. Still doesn't sound like a head coach, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Rick, do you notice anything different about?
Yeah, Mike McDaniel is. I'm trying to think of the words I want to use because he's an acquired taste. When he talks, it's kind of like you're listening to Jeff Goldblum talk. You're just like, Mike, get it out. Come on, get it out. He's very, kind of like Barack Obama. Just very, you're just like, what are you trying to say? But sixth offense in the NFL under him, and he did make some mistakes, but his rookie year and it was pretty good.
About him as he begins year 2.
No, we were in his press conference today, and he was as entertaining as always, answering questions. But I think the second time that a head coach goes through the cycle, he already's experienced.
Look at that. Would you look at that? Total offense rank by year. Adam Gase, the quarterback guru, 24th, 25th, 31st. Brian Flores, granted Brian Flores is a defensive guy, 27th, 22nd, 25th. Mike McDaniel, first year, 6th. Now you set a high standard, Mike. High standard. So now you can't be dropping. Go up. Gotta go up. But look at that. Look at the difference. Now we need the deep. If this is how the Miami Dolphins have been for like the past 20 plus years. Really good defense, horrible offense. Really good offense, horrible defense. It's always just, can we have it match? And then all of a sudden you got a championship team.
The things that did well, what they have to adjust. A lot of times these coaching staffs will go into the offseason. They will look at, hey, we can do this better in this part of the scheme. We can do this better. They have to be able to run the ball better in order for the scheme to work because they are explosive in the passing game. But he just looked more comfortable out there to me, and I think having Vic Fangio here also helps.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you mentioned, the run game, they have to be committed to the run. I mean, this offense is definitely built around the run game. But what happened last year, at times he got away from it. And that's not who he is. The foundation of this offense is to run the football. I know it's tempting when you have all that speed on the outside to throw the football down the field, but I'll give you an example. Against Buffalo in the second game of the season, they had 3 third and shorts in the second half and threw on all of them. You can't do that. And I think he's going to learn from that and be a better offensive play caller.
Especially when you had Raheem Mostert just destroying Buffalo. You got to just give him the ball and let him get the first down and live to, get a field goal out of it or something. We'll see if he learned from it. Again, it was rookie year. Let's see if he learned from it.
Or this time around.
Speaking of running the football, Pete, should they get Dalvin Cook if he's available?
If the price is right, I'd say so. And again, we were talking about that earlier. I think maybe for a 4th or 5th round pick, but it also depends on the compensation. I mean, his contract as it is right now is steep. And so if you're going to bring him in, that's an expensive luxury. When you look around their running back room, they already have a lot of speed in that, in that room. There's a lot of guys that need to stay healthy. We've had injury problems.
I've been trying to get that across. Now, this is 5 days ago, so this was before he got cut. So it was still the premise that the Vikings were trying to trade for him, or trying to trade him. I've been trying to tell you guys that, and I've been trying to get you guys to understand why I want Dalvin Cook. Like, do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I'm hearing some other things, especially from Reason. Go check him out, Inside the NFL. The money and all that other stuff. I'm also hearing Mike McDaniel things when it comes to Dalvin Cook. Go check out Reason's video yesterday. He brought up a very big thing that Mike McDaniel is advocating for Dalvin Cook, and I told you guys, you saw how he was with drafting Devon A-Chain. I didn't say I knew it, but I told you guys, I was like, I bet you he's banging the table for Dalvin Cook because he likes his running back. So, and then Reason kind of fortified that by saying he's hearing the same thing. But yeah, Raheem Mostert got banged up. Jeff Wilson got banged up. At one point, we had Savon Ahmed taking carries. You add Dalvin Cook, and you got those 4 running backs. Someone gets banged up, you're not as worried that the next guy stepping up isn't going to be able to do it. Especially late in the year when you need that run game. So again, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we got a stacked running back room. Why would you want to add him? Because we need it. I'm not saying Mostert and Wilson and Devon A-Chain aren't going to be able to do it if we don't get Cook. But why not do it? Well, because we can't re-sign Christian Wilkins. You can re-sign Christian Wilkins. Re-signing him relieve some cap space this year. Well, we can't resign Connor Williams. It's the same thing. You restructure their contract, add more years on, take some cap hit off this year. It just makes sense. Now, I'm not saying overpay for him, but it just makes sense. Kaya. Hara.
Around that offensive backfield with Jeff Wilson and Mostert in that group. So I think when you look at it, I would investigate it, but I don't necessarily think that's a move that takes this team over the top.
No, and
you
if you
are
look at
a
what Chris
liar.
Greer has done, they didn't have a lot of draft picks this year because of the forfeiture of the first pick with the tampering. They traded their other first-round pick for Chubb last year. They went out and traded for Ramsey this year, but to add Cook to this explosive offense because those guys are injury-prone or haven't shown to stay healthy through a complete season. And the kid that I was kind of impressed with running around today, and I know it's only in shorts, is A-Chain in the running back they took out of Texas A&M this year. But you imagine with all the explosive playmakers that they have on the offensive side of the ball, if they're able to add a Dalvin Cook, I don't know if they can be stopped.
The problem is the offensive line for right now. We could talk all about the playmaker.
I agree to an extent, Pete, because Mostert and Jeff Wilson were still, 4.5 yards a carry last year behind a doo-doo offensive line, and Raheem Mostert, again, if he didn't get injured, was on pace for almost having 1,000 yards last year behind the offensive line. So run it to the left, just don't run it to the right. Come on.
Is in the run game, and you have to run the ball better, and two will be better. The offensive line right now is a mess, and it's a problem. It was a problem last year. They're moving guys up and down, trying to figure out who the best five will be. They got hit with injuries last year, but Chris, if they...
I keep pausing. Again, if you want to watch the full video, CBS Sports, just Google it. Saying you need two positions out of five, I don't know if that's considered a mess. You can, hey, comment below. Let me know if you're like, Doug, you're dumb. It's a mess. Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt. There's your cornerstones, and then you just need the right tackle on the left guard. I don't know if I consider that a mess. I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I want it to be perfect, but a mess? What?
They don't play better up front. It's not going to matter for this offense. They have to be more physical at the point of attack.
And it won't matter as much if the defense isn't better as well. They're trying to revamp things. They went out, they got Vic Fangio as the new defensive coordinator. What is he going to be able to do in his first major coaching job since he was the head coach of the Broncos, Pete?
Well, he's one of the best acquisitions, if not the best acquisition of the entire offseason. Vic Fangio is a defensive genius. When it comes to playing on that side of the ball, he's been that way for a long time. And the respect that he gets from, his peers.
One time, that defense wasn't top 10. Scoring defense. I'll preference it, right? We'll stick with the scoring defense. One time. 9th, 1st, 10th, and then 3rd. One time.
And his players is as good as anybody in this league. So I think it's big for Miami. They're going to be one of those defenses, maybe not as aggressive. That's not his MO. I think he's one of those guys who's going to sit back and play some coverage and throw a bunch of different looks at you. This has been a defense. They played a lot of blitz style the past couple of years. Brian Flores did it. They kind of carried over last year. It's going to change, and it's going to put more premium on the guys up front to win without blitzing, which is why a guy like Jalen Phillips is going to be enormous, and Chubb as well. Those two guys are going to have to get to the quarterback if they can. They're going to be good on defense.
Yeah, and if you look at the two things that Vic Fangio's defenses are famous for, is disguising the coverage pre-snap and then all of a sudden showing a totally different coverage post-snap. And that makes...
And I will say this. Again, it's not a knock. It's not a knock, but that was the one thing that, first off, we're going to be facing a few rookies this year. That's going to mess with them. But also, that's the thing, like week one. All I'm thinking about right now is week one. Justin Herbert had a hard time when it came to that. When you started disguising coverages, kind of messed with him. We'll see if he got better at that.
it difficult on an offense and difficult on a quarterback. The other thing, what Pete mentioned, it's a lot of zone coverage, a lot of quarters, which means 4 defensive backs across the field. They don't believe in giving up explosive plays, and Vic Fangio's defense rarely gives up explosive plays, but they can get after the quarterback. And I think with Chubb and Phillips is probably going to be one of those breakout players of the year that you're going to hear a lot more of.
And you got to mention Jalen Ramsey as well. Maybe on the downside of his career, but he still brings swagger to that defense. And
that's fuel, to be honest with you, and I hope they keep saying that. Keep saying that Jalen Ramsey's on the back end of his career. If we sign Dalvin Cook, keep saying that, he's not the guy he used to be. Say the same thing about Xavier Howard. So, keep saying these things because it just fuels the fire for them to prove you wrong.
I know you guys spoke with him a little bit earlier today. What did he have to say?
Well, I asked him, are they the best cornerback tandem in the league, him and Xavier Howard? And he said, yes, absolutely. And didn't hesitate, by the way, which you expect from Jalen Ramsey. But when he walked away, I also asked him if he was still the top cornerback in the league. And he looked at me, he said, kind of shrugged and said, of course I am. So, yeah, there's still a confidence there with him. It'll be interesting. And
no?
Rick asked him about this, how he'll fit into this defense. Remember, he's a big physical long corner who can excel playing a lot of press man. So he's going to have to adapt a little bit. And he talked about some of the things. He's excited about some of the things he's going to do in this defense.
And Staley, the head coach at the L.A. Chargers, was a defensive coordinator when
he had a bad year last year. People said he's washed. Top 3.
He was at the Rams before he took over, said there's a lot of similarities, although Vic puts his own flavor on it. But I think he's very excited to play for the Miami Dolphins and in this defense.
All right, guys, it's time for our Geico 15. You're each going to give a 15-second statement on how you see the Dolphins navigating the AFC East this season. Odds-wise, they have the 3rd shortest odds. Bills the favorite, then it's the Jets, then it's the Dolphins at 3-1. Rick, you can lead us off.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Dolphins being up there right with the Bills. I think they're a better team than the Jets right now. I think with Vic Fangio, that was a major help and a major boost to this defense. So I'm thinking the Miami Dolphins have a legit chance to win the AFC East this year.
You're hedging. Are they going to win it or not?
They're going to win it, Pete.
There you go. I want to hear you say that. Say that. You said it before. You won't say it on camera.
Miami Dolphins will win the East this year in
There's
the AFC.
There's a Geico 15. My Geico 15 is Buffalo Bills are still the class of the division, period. They are the best team. They've added some pieces to that offense, including Kincaid, the tight end. They're going to play differently, but the biggest change for them will be on the defensive side of the ball. Sean McDermott's taken over calling defense. That means they're going to be more aggressive. They're going to get after the quarterback. No more sitting back. They're the best team. It's Buffalo. Miami and the Jets will compete for the 2nd spot.
Don't say that too loud, Pete. I know you're right there. You're right there in the middle of the facilities there for the Dolphins. The Bills are back.
Say it to them.
It's going to be the Bills. The Dolphins have no
chance. They're going to win the division. I'll say it as loud as I can.
Glad we got to see your shiny kneecaps again, guys. Rick Spielman.
It was good. I'm not surprised. I don't think they said anything outlandish. I will say this. I think Buffalo, and I'm going to do a ranking video. I got a tier list video. That'll probably come out Wednesday. I think I'm going to start my training camp position battle video tomorrow to start with quarterbacks. So I am going to talk about the division and how I think each teams are. I don't think it's as far away as people make it out to be. Now, am I going to sit here right now and say the Dolphins are going to win the AFC East? No. You know how I am. It's too early to tell about anything. A lot of things can happen from now until kickoff, and a lot of things can happen from kickoff to the middle of the season. Hell, the Dolphins a few times were number 1 in the AFC East, and then things fell apart. A lot of things can change. But I will say this. There is no, to me anyway, there's no clear cut. This is the team that's going to win the AFC East, and everyone else is just competing for 2nd place. I don't think Buffalo's up there. Buffalo lost a lot of talent. Yes, they added talent, but they lost a lot of talent. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think about what they had to say? What do you think about what I had to say? Again, to the members, go check out the community tab. You got a special video and a question. It's going to be in a special video for you guys. Same with the patrons. I put a video out. Go check that out. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. But like usual, stay classy. FN's up.